What's up? Hey, hello, everyone. Wow. So we're here a few days later after the finale of Survivor Season 37. And today we are talking about Survivor Season 38, The Edge of Extinction, doing a theme reaction. So my name is Rachel.
And I'm Alyssa, and we've already done a little bit of reacting to this season. It was announced that there would be 4 players who are returning, who are going to be the captains, I guess they're called, throughout the season or whatever. So we did a reaction to the 4 captains. We'll put that link down below. And yeah, other than that, we're going to be talking about this season as a whole. And just a fair warning, we're not like super pumped for like the theme idea just because it seems very flawed, I guess would be the most polite way to say it.
Yeah, so like Alyssa said, we'll link that down below if you want to hear in depth of the Joe, Aubrey, Kelly, and David, 4 returning members out of the 14 other newbies returning this season. We'll link it after this. You can check it out. But yeah, this video, we're going to be talking about the preview that we saw during the reunion show and then talk about the actual Edge of Extinction because it seems like it is very similar to a worse version of Exile Island or Redemption Island. And there isn't a lot of information regarding this Edge of Extinction season as a whole out yet. So maybe in the upcoming year, before the February 20th premiere date, maybe we'll have more information about it. So we're not having any spoilers or anything like that. We're just talking about the theme and what we've read online so far, which isn't a lot.
Yeah, the main thing that we learned is that there's going to be this thing called Extinction Island, and basically it's like Redemption Island, but there are no duels. So they're going to be put on that island. Well, they can choose to go to that island after they've been voted out, and they're not going to have like a super great shelter or a lot of supplies. But basically, if they can stick it out on that island, there will be an opportunity to come back into the game after the merge and then around day 35 or 36, and they'll compete in a challenge to re-enter the game.
Yeah, so there's a lot of questions about this whole Edge of Extinction, Exile Island, Redemption Island where these people go to. So like Alyssa said, once you're voted off, you can either choose to go live there, but there are no challenges unlike Redemption Island or Exile Island. You just go and hang out for X amount of days and you survive the elements. You have limited amount of supplies and you basically just chill until the merge or day 35 when you compete to get back into the game. And from what like the articles that I was reading, it was unclear on whether everyone who makes it to like day 35 gets back into the game or only one person who wins the challenge at the merge and day 35 gets back into the game. Because if it's all, then it's like, why wouldn't you want to stick it out and endure the elements till the merge to get a chance to re-enter the game? Or if it's just one, I feel like that would lead to more people choosing just to go to Ponderosa or get the pre-jury trip rather than sticking it out on their stupid island that they have to hang out at.
Yeah, the one thing though that we did find out was that anyone who is on Extinction Island after the merge has an opportunity to be on the jury. So if you're voted out in the pre-jury phase and you like want to get more television time, you could still like be a part of the jury if you stick it out until after the merge, which I think is really interesting because if everyone who gets voted out decides to stay on Extinction Island rather than like go on the pre-jury trip or like go to Ponderosa or whatever, then there could potentially be a jury of 15 people, which I think is just ludicrous.
Yeah, because like there's 18 people on the season, and then if 15 people are on the jury and then the final 3, that makes the 18. It literally does not make any sense to have an 15-person jury. And so, and if everyone can go to this island and then get back into the game at these certain checkpoints, like why wouldn't you? sure, in the preview we hear all the people complaining of like, oh, it's cold, we don't have a lot of food, that kind of thing. But if it's your dream to be on Survivor, don't you think you would want to stick it out unless some kind of dire life circumstance is happening and they forces you to leave the show? Like, I would not see the reason why you would want to quit the edge of Extinction Island to go to the pre-jury when you have an opportunity to sit on the jury, and that's like a really big marker point in Survivor. It's like make the merge, make the jury, and that's like a really amazing spot to be in. So like, why wouldn't you stick it out the 15, 20 days until the merge just so you can sit on the jury?
I just feel like you would get really bored because it's not like you have much to do. Especially like if you're like one of the only people who does decide to go to Extinction Island, like being on your own for like 3 days or 6 days or 9 days, like sure it sounds really nice, but it's like you're the only one who's going to be like watching the fire, and you're the only one who's like cooking the food, and you don't have other people around you to like give you body heat or whatever in the night. I just feel like that would be kind of miserable just because like it's mentally exhausting. And like the outwit, outplay, outlast thing, I feel like it's like a different element almost because you're outlasting but not really, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess one of the things I was reading, it's like technically someone could be voted out day 3 and then hang out at the island until the merge, get back in, maybe get voted out again. So, and then win the game if they get back in on day 35 too. So technically someone can get voted out twice and still win the game, and they could be the first person voted out and end up winning the game with this weird Edge of Extinction Island twist. So I think like that's really interesting. And also people are saying like, oh, on this island you can play mind games on your competitors and try to get them to quit as well. And then it's also sort of just like, you know, I just don't see that the people on this island are going to get that much screen time, especially when the actual game is happening right around the corner. I don't see producers giving these people that much screen time to be like, oh, haha, you know, we're still in the game, but like, let's screw these other people over while you're on this stupid island.
Yeah, I think it's like very mean spirited to assume that like you're the one thing they're going to be doing on that island is like trying to get each other to quit. Because I feel like if you're on the island and then you get voted back in the pre-merge, like, or if you get put back in like the post-merge, like, challenge, then some of the people on the island could still be around, and you could end up having to play against them if they get like put back in the post in like the day 35 or day 36 challenge. So it's like you wouldn't want to spend your entire time antagonizing them. So I'm not really sure if that would be like a good thing to do, like strategy wise.
Yeah, I just think like the whole island aspect, nobody likes Redemption Island as a season. No one really likes Exile Island. So why are you bringing back this island? And an even worse version. Like once you're voted out, who cares? You're voted out. I don't want to see you in the game again. And then it sort of messes up the order people are voted out in, and then the way they're sitting at tribal council. I'm just like, you weren't technically voted out in that spot, but you made it back into the game, which like, yes, that's good for you, but like you were voted out this time, you should sit in that spot on the jury bench. And just like that kind of thing annoys me. And I'm like, once you're voted out, you're voted out. I don't want to keep like seeing you come back into the game.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those things where a lot of people are voted out like for a reason. And I feel like it would be frustrating, like if you voted someone out and you like blindsided them and did perfectly in like their blindside or whatever, and then they come back in and you have to do it all over again. Like the only people I'd want to see come back from like an exile island would be people who are like screwed over by rock draws or by like a Sari type person who got voted out without a single vote against her. So
Yeah, and I feel like we've seen the strategy play out for this kind of island twist. Like, we've seen Ozzy purposely get himself voted out just to go and beat the person in the challenge at the island. But if there is no challenges at the island, if there is no real strategy at the island, but hang out and chill until the marker days, like, what's the strategy behind that? And then it's sort of like, we've seen the strategy for Exile Island play out. What more can you do with it? And I don't know, I just want to see a normal season of Survivor where people get voted out in an order.
Yeah, I feel like it's also one of those things that's kind of engineered to like favor the returning players, because it's like, oh, if Joe or Kelly or Aubrey or whoever the last one is, David, if one of them gets voted out, then they can just come back in again. And I feel like it's kind of like a cheap kind of twist to keep them around and in the game for longer, so that people who are watching for them will stay for longer, especially because it's rumored that the way they'll get back in is via an endurance challenge. And so it's like,
oh my God. Then Joe is going to get back into the game and win. I was surprised. So many people, like the fan reaction to Joe is very, very positive. A lot of the polls on Facebook, Joe is the most like favorite of the four that people are looking forward to watch again. And then I'm like, wow, I did not expect that. I'm like, Joe, please shave off that mustache. Your handlebar thing like does not look good. In the preview we saw at the reunion, he's like third time's the charm. And I was like, oh my God, this better not be another rigged season where Joe is going to win just because it's his third time playing and they want him to win. But then I'm like, this cannot be happening.
especially because it's also Aubrey's third time playing. So
And same with Kelly.
Yeah, and if it's going to be third time's the charm for one of the returning players, I want it to be Aubrey or Kelly, not Joe. So
Yeah, so I was surprised in the preview that they only showed Joe and Aubrey. Joe talks about third time's the charm. Aubrey says she's determined. She knows what starving is. She won't quit the game, which maybe could be foreshadowing. Maybe she's voted out and she's not going to quit the Exile Island thing. But I'm surprised they didn't show Kelly and David in the preview too, because I think David played Millennials versus Gen X. It's his second time. Kelly played fairly recently too. So it's like they're showing Joe and Aubrey. Why not show all four? Because all four of them are pretty popular Survivor players. And then you have like Rick and Wendy, who it's like, come on now.
yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like they probably chose it because Joe and Aubrey are going to be the ones who end up like lasting longer in the game of the returning four, and they didn't just want to make their preview all four of them. But it was still like questionable why they included Rick and Wendy.
Yeah, because that's what people are saying. People are thinking Joe and Aubrey make it far. That's why they're on there. Plus, Joe is like golden boy of Survivor for some reason. But like, I like Kelly and David, and I don't want to see them voted out early. So that's so sad. Wendy, blue hair, Rick, news anchor. They both say they're really, really excited for the game. They seem overly excited. Wendy's like, I'm bursting at the seams. Rick is like, jumping up and down. So they didn't really give much substance besides that they're very excited for the season, which like, that's great. But then I'm like, I don't know. They just seem a little weird.
Yeah, neither of them seem to be like super great Survivor players, and I'm sure I'm probably going to end up eating my words because like one of them's going to win or something. But I was just like, I'm definitely in agreement with you. I was hoping for more like strategic type talk, or at least more of an indication of a personality beyond really excited for Survivor. So.
Yeah, or even like something from day one where people are like, oh, I hate the returners. And then Jeff is like, we have a twist. There's 4 captains. And then people are like, oh, I hate the captains. Something to add drama. Like, who cares if Wendy and Rick are freaking excited? Like, everyone's excited to be there. You don't need to put it in your 90-second preview at the finale. And then you have Joe with his weird mustache and Aubrey talk. And I'm like, this is some lame preview. And then you have the people's voiceovers saying how sad and tired they are. And I'm like, if you really wanted to analyze it, you could probably match, like Rick has a Southern kind of accent. I'm pretty sure Rick is one of the people talking with the voiceovers in the second half if like you're really into that. And I'm like, this is, I don't know. I didn't like the preview.
Yeah, I wonder if the lame preview is kind of foreshadowing a lame season, which like wouldn't surprise me because Redemption Island was kind of a lame season in my opinion. So it's like I feel like when you put returners together with newbies, unless it's like equal, like fans versus favorites, then it's kind of an season.
Or yeah, even we've mentioned it in a lot of videos, like fans versus favorites, seen it in Big Brother. A lot of times when you have returners and newbies, returners always somehow have the upper edge. They make it really far. And so I don't know. I just don't necessarily like these mix of returner newbie seasons, especially when it's like really outnumbered. It's not even like fans versus favorites, like you're saying. It's outnumbered. And you have this weird island. Like you're adding the two worst things into one Survivor season and hoping for the best. And they're captains. So, like, what does a captain entail? If there's 14 people that are new and 4 captains, is that 2 captains per 7 people? What's that mean? Kelly and Joe played on a season together. They're friends, you know? Lots of things happening here.
Yeah, I feel like there's just so little explanation, and I can't see how they're going to make it work. And I feel like I had that same sort of feeling about Ghost Island at first. And then Ghost Island was kind of just eh. So,
Yeah, I feel like it is similar to Ghost Island, how a lot of people were like, what's this mean? You know, lots of questions. And then Ghost Island turned out to be, I guess, a dud if you want to be nice about it. Like, I try to block it from my memory. I'm like, David versus Goliath, really great. Why do we even Ghost Island? Not that great.
yeah, Ghost Island. I feel like part of that is because of the players, but part of it was definitely because of the theme. So,
but yeah, let us know what you think of this Edge of Extinction theme below in the chat, in the comments. What do you think of this weird Exile Island, Redemption Island twist? What do you think of the 4 captains? You know, let us know. Like we said at the beginning, we'll link our other video about our 4 captains reactions down below. And Alyssa and I are going to be taking a little break from podcasting. So for winter break, we'll be back in like 3 weeks.
yeah, because we're both going to be traveling in the upcoming weeks, and like trying to schedule podcasts while traveling is a nightmare. And yeah, but we really love you guys, and we really hope that you'll stick with us through our little mini break thing, and we'll see you on the other side. Bye.
Bye.